Good afternoon and welcome to Coffee with the OmniBros on a Sunday. I'm Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault on YouTube, joined as always with my co-host from Comics Guide 101, Lou. Lou, how's it going?
It's a beautiful Sunday. It's a beautiful Sunday over here in Orlando, Florida. It's hot, is what it is. It's hot as hell, man.
It's hot here in Virginia too. Hence the Hawaiian shirt. They come out when it gets hot here in Virginia. That's how you can always tell what the temperature is in Virginia whenever I break out the Hawaiian shirts. And Gabe will be along shortly. He's just a little late. He had a rough night, apparently. He's got 2 little kids, so I don't blame him. But before we get started with that, we pay allegiance to our sponsor, InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off your collected editions. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. Every quarter, there's an Omnibroslive discount code. If you're in the United States and you order over $50 worth of books, somehow you get free shipping in that. That's a big deal. Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Yeah, love them. Love In Stock Trades. They pay the bills here at Casa de OmniBro. We love them, man. We love them. They've been nothing but great people to us, and we love the product. And even before we were sponsored with them, we always supported them.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Hey, chat, how am I coming in? I'm trying a new mic out today. I'm using the mic I usually use to record voiceovers. Because I've been watching some of the older videos, and I barely come in on the older videos. So somebody let me know.
You sound good to me.
Am I sounding good?
Yeah, you sound fine. You sound good and clear.
Before we get going, I would also like to say Happy Pride Month to all of those out there that are part of the LGBTQ plus community. We love you guys, and yeah, we hope you enjoy this wonderful month celebrating you guys.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Amen, brother. So how's it going, man? Everything else good over there?
Sure.
Okay.
Everything's great.
Everything's great. Okay. Well, we've got a few things to talk about on the news. I'm gonna actually save. I just found this one. I'm gonna save that one for Gabe because he'll be able to chime in more on that one. Arguably, the biggest news story of this week. What do you think it is, Jess?
The biggest news?
The biggest one this week.
Well, I believe you called him R. Pats.
Yes.
I believe R. Pats as our next Batman is probably the biggest news.
You are correct. Robert Pattinson has officially, we can say this now, it was up in the air for a bit, has officially been cast as the Batman for Matt Reeves' new movie that's coming out. I think they said 2022, so we still got we've got a whiles away, 2022, 2021, before we get it. What do you think?
Lewis McGregor and I have been talking about it even before he got cast, and he and I are fans of the idea because we like the idea of a young, brooding Bruce Wayne, and this guy does young and brooding well. So I'm a fan of it, and I'm old enough to remember Michael Keaton's choice and this was way before social media was even an idea in anybody's eye, and Michael Keaton was roundly criticized as a choice for Batman, as everybody knows. There was a 50,000 name petition against it sent to DC. Comic shops were swarmed with nerds saying they did not like the idea at all of Mr. Mom being the slightly built Batman, but he did a dark and brooding Batman well, and of course Tim Burton had a lot to do with that. So I think that this is a great choice. This is my opinion, of course, and the internet can do whatever it wants with it. I don't go on the internet to find out what other people's opinions are because I don't care what other people's opinions are. I like the choice of R. Pats. I never heard that before, and I think it's funny. I think it's great. I want a different approach. I thought Affleck did a good job as an older, grizzled Batman, and we need a young, brooding, dark, tortured Bruce Wayne, and I think this guy can pull it off.
I'm 100% in agreement with you. I think he's a fantastic choice out of the people that they were kind of deciding to go with. I know Nicholas Hoult was in the running, the guy who plays Beast in those X-Men movies. I would like to see him actually. I think it'd be a Riddler. I think it'd be a good Riddler. Dude seems really lanky, and from what I've heard, he's actually really tall. I love the decision. I've seen a lot. I think a lot of the stigma comes from the fact that he did those Twilight movies years and years ago, but the guy's been doing nothing but the indie scene since then, trying to kind of shake that stigma off of him. And I think he's earned his due. He's been doing a lot of great stuff. Obviously you're gonna have the people online that start their stupid little petitions and stuff like that, which do those petitions ever really do anything? Do they really ever change anything?
I don't think so.
They're the stupidest, most entitled fan outcry thing. Oh my God. They didn't do anything back in the day with DC when they cast Michael Keaton. They're not doing anything today. They really don't do anything. It just gives people a place to bitch and moan. I'm for it. I am 100% for it, man. I can't wait. I'm curious as to what they're going to adapt more so.
Yeah, we've already had Batman Begins with which was a great movie with Christian Bale. So I wonder if they're. I'm not interested in. Well, I'm not interested in a retelling of the origin. I am interested in something involving a young Bruce Wayne already established that goes over his dark origins. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna adapt. That's great.
There's been so many rumors floating around this movie for years. Originally, Ben Affleck was taking a crack at it. He wrote the script. He was set to direct. Then apparently that was apparently supposed to be really close to Arkham Asylum. Then apparently Matt Reeves came into the picture. He scrapped the entire script that they had already worked on, and he was going to do his own thing. We know this is supposed to be closer to a detective story. Some people are saying it's going to be kind of like a Long Halloween or something along that nature, or a Hush. I'm cool with it. I mean, there's even been rumors of the Court of Owls being the main villains, which if they are, please let me know right now so I could flip my book once the prices skyrocket on that, because I still have the first Apple signed by Snyder. Yeah, look, we won't know anything until 2021 at the latest. I'm willing to bet if this comes out 2022, we're gonna start seeing pretty soon, because what are we, 2019? They're going to start probably filming sometime within the next year. We're probably going to start seeing leaked images, and people are going to start bitching and moaning, saying, "Oh, he looks horrible in the suit." Whatever. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I love Matt Reeves, and his last two Planet of the Apes films were incredible. They're hands down one of my favorite trilogies. The new Planet of the Apes films.
Tyler Blunt is saying he thinks it will be a Batman year one situation, which is interesting.
It could be. We know it's set. Apparently, it's set in the 90s, and they really wanted to cast a younger Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means, we don't know. I'm excited. I mean, we're probably going to get him using dial-up internet, so that'll be cool.
So we get to see him log on to AOL and listen to the.
Yes, and he'll get.
So he's gonna have slow loading times and everything.
Alfred, are you on the phone? Tyler Blunt. So yeah, year one. That's a good one. A lot of people saying they're fans of his and they're gonna give him a shot. So then someone calls. Okay, next thing on the docket. We're kind of just gonna fly through it quickly today. We are getting a new Harley Quinn book, Jess. This is gonna be for you. I know you're a fan of the Harley Quinn.
I am a huge Harley Quinn fan, and this book sounds really exciting to me.
Harley Quinn Profiles, the Joker, and the new DC Black Label title coming this fall. For those of you that don't know, DC's Black Label imprint is kind of where they're doing their more mature books, which is where you're getting Batdick, where we saw, and I'm not talking about Nightwing, which is what we saw. What was it like? We're coming up on a year, right, to the anniversary of Batdick.
Has it been a year?
I don't know.
What? I can't believe it's June already. I don't even know. You know, I don't pay that much attention to single issues anymore. So I actually don't know. I'm just waiting for that to be finished and sent out in a hopefully uncensored collected edition.
You know they're going to probably censor it.
Ugh.
They probably will. I mean, they censored the book. You know, after the first printing ran its course, they went out and put the second printing out. And
oh, they did?
Didn't they? I thought I read that they put like a big block over it. Gabe would know more than I do.
That's the, I was going to say weenie way out.
Oh no, I think they put a shadow in it. They shadowed it off or something. I don't know. Whatever. I didn't bother reading it since I'm not a huge Azzarello fan.
Oh, you're not? Oh, okay. I am.
No, I'm mixed. I'm lukewarm with Azzarello. I didn't care for 100 Bullets. I did like Moonshine. What else have I read by Azzarello? His Joker book I really dug. I really dug that story. As far as his other stuff, I'm not really a fan, to be honest.
I think he wrote the greatest Batman story ever in his Flashpoint. That Batman story
that was good.
Amazing.
That was really good. Okay, I'll give him that. Yeah, that was really good. When you find out the revelation of all stuff, that was
rocking great.
Like that was a stroke of genius. I was like, wow, that's a great idea how that played out.
Yeah.
Spadut says, I think he should be dealing with people like the Falcones. No, I really hope they don't use the Joker in the new Batman film. Kind of just going back a little. I really hope they don't. Because I think the Joker, we've got Joaquin Phoenix's Joker coming out. I think it's been played out a little bit too much.
Yeah, I've seen enough of the Joker in movies. I want to see something more interesting.
But back on the Harley Quinn kick. The first meeting of Harley Quinn and the Joker will get a unique twist in a just-announced new DC Black Label title scheduled to debut this fall. In Joker/Harley Criminal Insanity by writer Cami Garcia, I don't know who that is, and artist Mike Mayhew, Harleen Quinzel is given a bit more agency as she is reimagined as a forensic psychiatrist/profiler called in by Gotham City Police Department to help stop a serial killer known as the Joker. Right off the bat, I dig this. I dig the concept of this.
I do too.
It's very. I mean, we know Harley Quinn is a psychologist. She ends up falling for the Joker. I'm really curious to see how they're going to play up this. Is she going to fall for him still? Does she become obsessed with the case and eventually like takes over her? I'm interested into seeing what the writers are going to come up with. This is really DC's doing kind of this a lot lately with their kind of like Elseworlds tales, and I'm really glad that they're doing these kind of 10-issue maxi series where they can be kind of out of continuity. They can't be, depending on how you look at it, kind of like Batman White Knight. I'm really glad that they're back on this track because for a few years, we didn't have any of this stuff where it was just strictly, these are the continuity books and that's all we're getting. We're not doing these Elseworld tales.
Yeah, I'm, of course, a huge fan of Harley Quinn, and I'm a huge fan of this idea that she's a forensic psychologist, and they're making Joker in the Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy mold, where he is a sane, rational person that kills because he likes to kill. And she has to try to track him down. I find this fascinating, and if it's handled right, I think this could be a really big, interesting book.
I'm kind of hoping that they go the Zodiac route with it. If you've ever seen that film,
I I didn't need to see the film. I lived it as a kid in California.
Oh my gosh, that's right. Yeah, you lived in that time during that time period.
I did.
And in the state, the time of free love and everything, where everybody was freaking out because nobody knew who the Zodiac Killer was, or they couldn't catch him.
Right.
Wow, man. Okay, I'm gonna have to talk to you about that later. If you don't mind me asking, like, what it was like. Yeah, I'm not big on Azzarello. I don't know if this is gonna be kind of is like the
whole. No, Azzarello's not writing this though.
Well, what I'm gonna say is like, is the whole Black Label stuff kind of in that Azzarello corner of the DC universe, or is it mostly gonna be standalone stuff? Is what I'm wondering.
I don't know. I don't know enough about this to even hazard a guess.
Somebody other will know. The next thing, Jess, do you like Keanu Reeves?
Yes.
There's Gabe.
What's up, guys?
I'm glad you're here. We can talk about the thing I really wanted to talk about, because you can give more input on this. You can give more input on this than most people.
Cool.
So we're gonna jump right into this. Actually, 1.35 million people came out for Free Comic Book Day. Free Comic Book Day was once again a media favorite in 2019, with comic shop retailers, publishers, and Diamond all doing their part to drive media coverage on a local and national level, which resulted in an estimated $4 million in free publicity and gained $35 million people, good God, attending the event. Unfortunately, that was also down from last year. Where is it? By how much? Okay. The total publicly generated, retail positive of the outcome of the event was their highest sales receipt of the year. But yeah, overall, okay. Was it down or was it up? Anyway.
It was down, is what they were saying. It was down like 150,000 people or something.
It was like, how much was it?
Like 150,000 people down.
Right.
Apparently.
Yes. Yeah. What is your take on it? Because I know you worked the store that day. Did you kind of notice, like, was it slower than average? Did you guys have a larger amount of people than normal? How'd it go?
Well, this is an interesting subject, because I want to know where these numbers come from, because I didn't take nobody took a tally of how many people showed up to their store.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering where these arbitrary numbers are originating from to begin with.
Apparently,
so in my experience, there's two stores.
Right.
We have the Las Vegas store, and then we have the store in Orange, and each had a big signing event at each store. So Vegas had Chris Claremont, and Dustin Nguyen was at the Orange County store. So, I mean, again, I didn't take a tally. We don't really do a lot. We don't do a big push for Free Comic Book Day. It's, we do the minimum requirements of stuff for the most part when it comes down to Free Comic Book Day. Just because of the extra effort involved in it and the type of brand that we have at Torpedo. We're not, we don't really do a lot of, I don't want to call it begging, but we don't do that type of promotion for the store. We have a very good following as it is. We are a destination spot, things like that. But we do like to do fun things like signings at the store during these events. We'd rather have fun events than just, hey, everybody come in and, be a vulture, get your free comics, and then bail out. And for it to even be down 150,000 people, it's interesting because I can see it being down in a lot of areas because there's a lot of comic book stores over the last year. I don't know the exact number, but there's a lot of comic book stores that feel like that shut down in the last year. I know of 3 in Vegas alone I can think of off the top of my head that shut down. So when stores shut down, these comic readers, a lot of times they don't just hop over to the next store or go online and order. They just kind of a lot of times just stop reading comic books because it's almost kind of there as just as a convenience factor, to go to the comic book store and get stuff. So that could also be a reason why it's down, because there's a lot of comic book stores that shut down. We have 3 in this town that shut down, and there's not many places in this country that have 3 comic book stores in total. So if you have that one comic book store in your little town that shuts down, then there's absolutely no free comic book day in that area. But again, at the same time, I think these numbers, for it to be down 150,000, they're saying that it was like, almost 1.5 million people that showed up. Again, with that scavenger vulture type of nature that is free comic book day, I think you're looking at numbers that are the same people jumping from store to store to try and get as much free stuff as they can to get every free comic book day comic, because that is a thing. There are people out there that absolutely have to have every single issue of free comic book day. So at my store, where I think we did 8 free books per person, which is a shit ton of books to give away, because stores still have to pay, I want to say, depending on the books, about $0.25 a piece that comes out of the store pocket that we're giving away. But there are people that will, especially here in this town where we have a lot of comic book stores, they will go from store to store to store to store to store until they get every single issue that came out that day. So there is that scavenger vulture nature that they need to get everything. So it's almost like comic book conventions where they say it was 800,000 people. But what they're really doing is they're counting the same people every day of the show. So when you go to a show, I go 1, 2, 3, 4 days, I count as 4 people. So it might be that kind of a number. I'm really interested to know how they came up with this census and these numbers to begin with. Because nobody like sits there and has like a turnstile or a little clicker number taker or anything like that. Everybody kind of just guesstimates. They're like, yeah, I probably had like 300 people come through.
Let's see. Free comic book day this year. The Free Comic Book Day website recorded over 118,000 unique visitors on the day of the event, exceeding the previous year. I'm guessing they're using probably maybe Twitter analytics and things like that. I don't know.
I don't know where these numbers come from. It's interesting. I want to know where the numbers come from. Just because it just seems to be very arbitrary. Like how do you come up with these numbers? It's just a number. What do the numbers actually mean? Oh, it means 1.5 million freeloaders decided to come out of their house on a Saturday afternoon and get a couple free comics.
You have a pretty narrow view of these people.
There's people that you only see like once a year, and they come in and try to take a stack of free comics. They're freeloaders.
He's technically not wrong, because at my local shop, Coliseum Comics in Orlando, I skip mostly free comic book day because I just don't want to deal with the madness.
I think that's another thing that might factor into these numbers too, is there's a lot of people, you and Jess included, who just avoid crowds as much as humanly possible and just won't do free comic book day.
Oh,
because they're getting bigger. They're getting bigger and they're getting more extravagant, and stores are trying to do more and more and more and more and more to get more people into the store, because free comic book day is like another Black Friday. When it comes down to this retailer establishment side of things, a lot of stores will do in one day what they will typically do in a month. So there is a lot of money there. But again, you have to spend a lot of money to make that happen. A lot of stores do sales, things like that to try and entice, these people to come in and to try and make up for those free comics that you're giving out. Yeah. To try and make up for, a lot of stores that do refreshments and snacks or entertainment, or, there's a lot of extra that goes into free comic book day for a lot of stores.
Right. I used to go to it, and I would always walk in and go, "Where are you fuckers the rest of the year?" The line would be stretching outside the store. The place will be packed, and I'm like, "Okay, so where are you guys the rest of the year? You're obviously here just for the free shit, but you're never supporting this store." And you would just see people, they'd line up, get their free books, and walk the fuck out. And most of them don't realize you guys pay to have those books in the store, correct?
Right.
You know,
Like we the Vegas store did really well for Free Comic Book Day, and I don't think it really was to do with people coming in, getting free comics, and then buying stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of that there too. But again, we did have Chris Claremont in the store doing a signing, so I think a lot of the money that we did make that day was, as the signing. We probably would have made close to that much money on any other Saturday that we had Chris Claremont in.
And Chris Claremont's a big pull. That's
Exactly. Yeah, he's an amazing person, and a huge historian when it comes down to the world of the X-Men and Marvel Comics in general. So even Uncanny Durley in the chat says his only comic book store in town closed last year, so he probably didn't get a free comic book there. So I think if there is any down numbers, it's because of stores shutting down.
Which is weird because there was just a new store opening in my neighborhood. So on my way home, I can pass 1, 2, 3 stores on my way home. Just on my way home from work, there are 3 comic book stores within, I would say, probably 5-6 miles of each other. And all of them have been open for years. Like, I don't know, they're small stores, and I'm pretty sure they must be good with their inventory because they're small stores and they've been doing this for a long time. I think the newest store is probably Epic Comics, which shout out to them. They are great people over there. They've only been open probably, I want to say 6-7 years. And every time I walk in there, the place is full with people.
Nice. Good for them, man. Yeah. But how many times have we've seen like Bleeding Cool articles or these other online articles talking about stores shutting down or stores, I did a big rant about it once, stores who are about to shut down because of people not picking up their pull boxes when it's really just you're bad at business.
Yeah.
And them trying to do like a Kickstarter or donations to try and keep the store up and running. There was a lot of that in the last year or so. And those stores shutting down is probably what's affecting these Free Comic Book Day numbers.
Do you think it's just bad business practices on their part?
100% bad business.
Yeah.
If you are coming out and making a statement saying we are closing our store because we have people who don't pick up their pull items or their special ordered items for months and months on end, and we have thousands and thousands of items not being bought because they are on hold, you are not running a comic book store the correct way.
Yeah. No, my old comic shop, my local shop, when I used to go into there, they would, okay, so here's your pull list. What are you going to pull? Are you pulling this weekly? Are you pulling this every 2 weeks? Are you pulling this monthly? And if you don't pick up your books within a month, they'll call you and they'll be like, hey, within the next week, we're going to put these on the shelves. And we are just going to have to put your pull list on hold. And they're cool about it, but they have to do it because if not, they're going to be sitting on a shit ton of books.
It's not a pawn shop. That's how we do it at the store too, is, hey, all right, so what do you want on your pull list? All right, well, whatever title you want on your pull list, you can put on your pull list. You get 15% off of every new book. Not just the ones that came out today, not just the ones that are on your pull list. 15% off every new book. So it'll entice you, oh, I've never read Green Lantern before, but Grant Morrison's on it, and I get 15% off, I might as well give it a shot. Things like that. But the agreement is we will buy these books for you. We are putting the money out basically 3 months in advance to get these books for you, and we will hold them for you with the promise that you will come and pick them up and buy them from us at a discounted price also. So the only thing that we ask for, our only kind of, caveat, the only blood you have in this game is we ask that we see you once a month to pick up your books. After about a month, we will, we're not bill collectors. We don't call you and threaten you, or we're not harassing. It's usually like, hey, Joe, what's up? How are you doing? Your box is getting kind of full. Haven't seen you for a while. Are you doing okay? All right, cool. When do you think you're going to be in to pick up your books? And, excuse me. And we agree on a certain time frame, which is probably within a week or two. And if you don't see you in that agreed time frame, then we will pause your pull box and we'll start selling stuff out of it. You know, it works like that. We can't hold, you know, $300 worth of comics because you say, oh, I will be there soon. I will be there eventually. Yes, I do want them. All right, I understand you want them, but do you want to come get them tomorrow? Do you want to come get them in a week? Do you want to come get them in 2 weeks? You know, when do you think that we're going to make this happen? Or also, you know what? We try to be as transparent as possible. And you know what? Tell us if something's going on. Tell us that you're going to be out of town for a while. Tell us that money is tight and you're waiting for your next, you know, commission check or your next big check to come in, or, you know, you're buying a house pretty soon, so you can't spend a lot of, you know, ancillary money on bullshit like comic books. We'll work with you as long as the communication is there on both ends. You know, we'll reach out to you if you reach out to us as well. So you have to build that type of relationship so that people are comfortable telling you, I lost my job, or I got my hours cut from work, or whatever the case might be. Life happens. We've all been there. No one's going to go, oh, you're a complete freeloader, or you're a complete piece of shit because you can't pick up your books because you lost your job. We don't care. We will sell those books, but these books have an expiration date, and the expiration date is really less than a month. So by the time the next issue comes out, and some books come out twice a month, some books come out every 2 weeks. So the moment that next issue comes out, that previous issue is gone, is done. Nobody cares about it. It's going to sit on the shelf. So it's almost like a grocery store. We have to try and get these things out the door before they literally spoil on the shelf. Not literally, figuratively spoil on the shelf. So.
How about you, Jess? Have you noticed any closings in your area as far as stores?
No, you know, my LCS is Third Eye Comics, which just has now moved into its third locate. They've just opened a third location in Richmond, Virginia, and they've moved from their tiny location into their third in Annapolis. It's now this huge store. They just keep expanding in Annapolis to these giant stores. This store now is enormous. I took Sherlock there, and he was amazed at how big it was. And I think they do keep a clicker going on how many people show up, because they've kept tabs on how many people every year at Free Comic Book Day show up. And that's what's always kept me from going, because, you know, 3 years ago it was 5,000 and last year it was 8,000. I said, this year it's going to be 10,000. Forget it. No way am I going to that. And that's what's always kept me from going to San Diego Comic-Con, is that's like my personal nightmare, is all the people that are going to be there. But I haven't, the stores around me, there's I think 2 or 3 in Washington, D.C. There's a couple in suburban Virginia. There's 2 in Annapolis. They seem to be doing healthy enough business. And I'm trying to think what Third Eye does for Free Comic Book Day. I can look back in my email and see what they do. I think they have 20% off sales on everything, but they have the full spread of every comic that's offered, you know, and they'll have every single comic that's offered available, and they have multiple lines set up, multiple cash registers set up, multiple lines set up, and, you know, even a tent out back set up, and it's just wall to wall people. So they do a healthy business that day. But every time I go in there, there's always a lot of people in there. Actually, no matter what time, unless it's like, you know, 11 a.m. when they first open, which is when I try and get there so that there's no people in there, since I, you know, hate people. But they're always running sales, and always, you know, Memorial Day sales, July 4th sales. When it snows, there's a sale. You know, they're always, and they always have signings. Not as many as Gabe's store does, but they're always running signings. They have a special area set up now for signings and things like that. So they're big on signings too. So they're big on promotion, which I think is a key to being a healthy store like Gabe's is. Is running these kind of promotions with the signings and things. I think that's one of the keys. They have a huge collected editions wall, a huge manga section, huge collected editions wall, huge kids section, you know, huge singles section. They've diversified their inventory to the max, and they probably have every Japanese candy there is surrounding the cashier. I mean, that's where Sherlock found a bunch of Godzilla comic books that he hadn't even ever seen. So he was really excited about that. So I haven't noticed that any stores have closed. I've only noticed Third Eye getting bigger.
That's awesome. Good to hear. I like to hear. I know Third Eye is a big store and they do a lot of variants and they got a big name.
Yeah,
I'm glad to see another store, doing well and making a name for themselves.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, when you hear stories like that about like how Torpedo and Third Eye and my local shops, hell, they keep opening local shops in this damn town. It kind of makes me question all the people that are crying, doom and gloom for the industry, saying, "Oh, every single store is closing down right now."
Well, I one thing I will tell you is that Steve, who runs Third Eye, is a businessman first. To Gabe's point, when I ask, Steve reads, every single comic that comes in, so he has knowledge about everything. But then when I ask him, what other like books do you read besides comic books? And he says, oh, it's all business books. It's all how to run a small business. And so he's extremely knowledgeable on the business end. And so he's not going to let happen to his business what Gabe is talking about with these pull lists and things. That's the last thing that's going to happen. He's a businessman first and a comic book fan second, I think, is how he would describe himself. And that's how he has three stores that he's running at the same time. He's, built this thing from the ground up, and he's running back and forth from all three stores, making sure that they are all over the place. I mean, one's in California, Maryland, which is way in the boondocks of Southern Maryland compared to Annapolis. The other one's in Richmond, Virginia. So he's putting mileage on his car. Mm-hmm. And he's the one I traded my Black Flag skateboard to for comic books back in the old days for like $300 worth of comics. And of course I regret that now because it was one of a kind, but he has it hanging in his house. So I think that, to Gabe's point, these things have to be run as a business first and not as a hobby. And this pull list thing is, the number one, like Gabe was saying, that it's a commitment. You're telling them you're going to buy this thing, and they have to go out and buy it for you 3 months in advance. And if you flake on them, that puts you in a world of hurt. And I don't want to reiterate what Gabe's saying, but that's why Third Eye Comics is in the position it's in. It is run as a business first.
Yeah. Okay. Well, last thing that I've got, I touched on it a little bit earlier. Keanu Reeves is rumored to be in the running for a role in the MCU. A new report has surfaced that is sure to get Marvel fans excited. According to MCU Cosmic, oh God, take this with a grain of salt. Marvel Studios is looking to cast Keanu Reeves in the Eternals. Apparently, the actor is currently in negotiations with the studio. Again, take this with a super small grain of salt, okay? But yeah, I don't know anything about the Eternals, but I love Keanu Reeves, so yeah, I'm cool with that. I hope he gets a good role.
I want him to be the Silver Surfer.
Oh my God! Yes.
Oh my God, that'd be so cool.
That is great.
I would explode in delight if that guy was Neo, John Wick, Silver Surfer, and Ted from Bill and Ted. That guy is life.
Oh my God! I'm so. You know what? Now that you mentioned that, please make that happen.
Yeah.
Some people
Matt Miranda in the chat said Adam Warlock. That'd be another cool role, I think, for him as well. But Silver Surfer, I think I like the idea of Silver Surfer because Keanu Reeves kind of has that deadpan kind of delivery on things sometimes, and I think that works perfect for someone like the Silver Surfer who is basically out of touch with humanity because his humanity's been turned off. You know, you have to have your humanity turned off if you're going to be, you know, the arbiter of death for Galactus. So, man, yeah, if I get Keanu Reeves a torpedo, man, that'd be great. But I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I just want all good things to happen to Keanu Reeves because apparently every news story that you read or everything that you hear about the guy is that he's one of the genuinely most nicest and sweet people that you've met in Hollywood. Like the guy is incredible. Apparently,
he's also had a rough life too.
Yeah,
but I mean, not just like his childhood. Like I guess his dad was like a really bad drug addict and things like that. But even after he made it big, you know, like he had a girlfriend or a fiance that was pregnant with her kid and she died in a car accident horrifically. A lot of things like that. So, I mean, he seems to be a genuinely nice guy. I mean, I've heard reports that a lot of the money that he got for doing the Matrix movies, he put back into the production so that, you know, the production crew can get more money and the rest of his fellow actors can get more money, things like that. So he seems to be a generally sweet individual.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to see him play a big role because nothing against the Eternals, but like Luis says, he knows nothing about them. And I would like to see a big name like Keanu Reeves have a bigger role in the MCU, like the Silver Surfer, like maybe Adam Warlock, a character that I think will have significant impact within the next couple phases of the MCU movie universe.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Constantine. He did Constantine. That movie was awesome. It was not a good Hellblazer movie, but it's a really great movie in general.
I had fun in watching that movie.
Yeah, same. Also, apparently, he's in the Fast and Furious movies. That's the rumor.
Oh man, dude, those movies can't get any better. Now you're gonna put Keanu Reeves in it? Come on.
There's a rumor that he's in the Hobbs and Shaw movie or something like that. Him and Ryan Reynolds are apparently in there as like cameos or something like that.
There's a rumor that Santa's going to give me all the Fast and Furious movies for Christmas.
I'm going to try and make that happen for you, man. I'm going to try to, it might not be 4K, but I think I should be able to do it.
I can't take advantage of 4K, so don't bother dropping the dosh on that.
But the promise is you have to review them.
Oh, you give me those, I will sit down and I will watch them every day for 8 days or whatever, and I will devote a full video to reviewing each one of them.
All right, chat. Who wants to see Jess do reviews on all the Fast and Furious movies? Jess has never seen these movies before.
Never seen them.
He doesn't know what he's in for. But who wants to see him watch these movies and review them one by one? And I just want to watch Jess just gradually go from that was really cool, and they did some really cool car stuff. So all the CGI now they're trying to race a submarine on ice. Like, what's going on?
They're doing what?
Yeah,
It'll make sense once you. Well, no, it won't make sense once you watch it, but you'll still dig it. You'll still dig it. I promise.
It's literally. It starts out like the first film is just extreme, just pure testosterone, car racing, these guys that are souping up these cars in order to hijack semi trucks full of DVD players and CRT TVs.
Yeah,
and all the effects, for the most part, I'm pretty sure all the effects and all the stunts are awesome and great. But yes, they are practical. It's real world stuff that you actually see real cars get hit, real cars, flip and tumble, all the way up to gradually things start going where they're in like Dubai and they're crashing cars out of one skyscraper down to the next skyscraper down to a third skyscraper.
We're not joking. We're not joking about this. Just
Oh my God.
they are great. They are so good.
I think I've barely even seen trailers for these movies.
Good. Go into it knowing almost nothing.
Yeah, the first movie is great. This is one of my favorite franchises of all time, just because it's like a horror film where they just keep trying to top what they did last time, and it gets more and more ridiculous, but not in a bad way. Where movies like like Leprechaun, where it's like Leprechaun, and then Leprechaun 2 in space, and then it's like, well, how are you going to? What's worse than being in space? Leprechaun 3 in the hood. So it just has that kind of just swinging, just ridiculousness. But yeah, it's stealing cars to rob semi trucks, to learning how to drift in Tokyo, to robbing banks and dragging a massive safe out of a bank down a city street while it's taking out other cars and other buildings, to helicopters, to submarines, to it's
now here's the important question. Which one is Gal Gadot in a bikini?
She's in a couple of them, I think, too, right? She's in at least 2 films.
She's in a few of them, but I don't remember that one where they use a handprint on her ass to
to
the bank.
I heard
safe.
about that.
Yeah,
That was a great scene.
I put that GIF in the chat.
Yeah, I saw that. That's the one that got my attention. I was like, oh, maybe I need to see these movies.
And apparently in this new one we get the X-Men, so I'm really looking forward to that, because apparently Idris Elba's a mutant and he's bulletproof in this movie.
So what, he's Luke Cage? He's finally Luke Cage?
He's apparently Luke Cage in this movie because apparently he's bulletproof.
Oh, this will be fun.
Yeah, it gets even more out of control because it starts out with Vin Diesel being the biggest, toughest guy ever, and it just escalates and escalates. Now you got The Rock as the biggest, baddest dude beating up Vin Diesel, who used to be the biggest, baddest dude. And then you got Jason Statham showing up, who just spin kicks everybody in the chest.
I love Jason Statham.
Dodging bazookas and bazookas going through car windows and just crazy out of control stunts. So that's great.
You know the only place that they have left to take it is they have to take it to space. At some point, they're going into space.
Yeah, somehow they're going to get some Lamborghini or something with a rocket on the back of it, and they're going to go to Mars or something. It's going to be awesome. But then after that, the only way they're going to top that is bringing it back to the hood, like in the first movie.
That's how you go full circle. My dream is for this next one, the one that comes out next year. You get to the end credit, and the post-credit scene is you see Martin Lawrence and Will Smith come out, and it's the guys from Bad Boys, and you call it Bad and the Furious, and that's how you end it.
My dream, if they gave me a chance to write a Fast and Furious movie, it'll be a time heist movie.
Time heist movie?
Yeah, where it's going to be like a mixture of Fast and Furious and Back to the Future, where the cars turn into like time machines, and they go into the past. And I don't know, I'll send them back to like King Arthur days, and then Vietnam, and then I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, but that's what I would do. I'd make it a time heist.
Don't rule it out. They might do it.
Time heist.
You heard it here first. If they do a time heist movie, then you know somebody's watching this channel.
Well, we're supposed to be getting a Saturday morning cartoon on Netflix.
Of Fast and Furious?
Yeah, we're getting a Fast and Furious cartoon on Netflix.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I'm so down for that. I really do hope they do it like in the style of like the old G.I. Joe's cartoons. Oh, good time.
Yeah, hey Carl, we can see your comments. I don't know. He's asking if anyone read my comment. Which one?
Oh, because he said maybe Back in Time or Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah, he said the same thing you said.
Oh, nice. Someone's out there who got the same idea. Genius.
Fast and Furious with it. No, technically, you can have, because they own the rights, you can have Jurassic Park and Fast and Furious in the same universe. So technically, we could get Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Stop making cool movies that we're never going to see, Luis. Oh my God.
Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
You can have.
This is going to turn into Dino Riders. Anybody out there remember Dino Riders?
I used to love Dino Riders.
Yes. That's the time movie. They go back in time to dinosaurs, and they equip these dinosaurs with weapons and NOS. You got a NOS tank on a T-Rex.
It's, man, we can't have the Jurassic Park Fast and Furious crossover where you have Chris Pratt, he shows up out of nowhere and he talks to Vin Diesel. He's like, "You gotta rescue Blue," or something like that from the island, and then they're out racing whatever's left on the island or some stupid shit like that on a bunch of Camaros. I love it.
And NOS tanks on dinosaurs.
There we go. Print it. They don't make $1 million.
That will beat in-game numbers. I promise you.
You call it Jurassic Furious. I like it. All right. There's nothing else that I have in terms of the news.
We're making our own news now.
At this point, yeah. If you guys got anything else to talk about, what have you read or anything like that? If you want,
I want to talk more about Fast and Furious going back into time with dinosaurs and the Knights at a Round Table. Drinking Monster energy drinks and Coronas, because you can only have Coronas in those movies.
Oh, we did miss something.
The Tom King rumor.
Yeah, Tom King apparently has a new job. He's writing what?
New Gods movie.
Yeah, he's co-writing New Gods. So, I mean, you could kind of have to imagine. I guess Mr. Miracle is probably going to play a large part in it.
Who would they cast as Big Barda? Who has the chops to be? Who was recently was it in the latest Star Wars movie where they had the really tall woman?
Gwendolyn Christie?
Oh, the one from Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Game of Thrones.
I don't see her as Big Barda.
Okay.
Who was that really attractive UFC women's fighter who was in? Yeah, I could see her. She was in Deadpool, right?
Yeah, she's my fan cast for it.
I can see that because I think Big Barda needs to be a bigger physique-sized woman.
What's her name?
Attractive.
What was her name?
Gina Carano.
Oh yeah. Okay.
She's not really the greatest actress, but Jesus, I've always thought she's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think she's very attractive. I think she's got that stature of a warrior type woman. I mean, obviously, she's breaking people's faces in a ring for a living. But that's who I would cast. I mean, you can always give her some time and some acting coaches and things like that to improve that side of things.
Yeah.
But I think the actual presence of Big Barda, I think, would be felt with somebody like her.
Yeah. Like if you watch those, if you go back and watch those Fast and Furious movies and you see Gal Gadot in them, you're like, wow, she is not the greatest actress. But with time, you saw her in Wonder Woman and she turned it around for me. I was like, wow, she really nailed this. Beyonce. Tom King writing what was it, New Gods? So
New Gods movie, yeah.
You think we'll get Darkseid?
Oh yeah, they had Darkseid ready for Justice League.
Yeah.
They even cast them, I believe.
We were supposed to. Well, if you hear Snyder break down like his original plans, because he had this press conference or something like that where he was breaking down his original plans for the movies he wanted to make. Darkseid was originally supposed to be in the second one, wasn't he? Supposed to be in Justice League?
I think it's supposed to be at the end of the first Justice League.
Right.
And then the second Justice League was supposed to kind of be like the end of Infinity War, where the good guys lose, and the world basically turns into that nightmare world that Batman was having visions of.
Yeah.
And then the third one was supposed to be like an all-out like Green Lantern like crazy fight fest to take down Darkseid, if I remember the timeline correctly. But yeah.
Which
would have been awesome. And they had people seen early digital visuals for Darkseid. Like, they had him ready for the movie. It was supposed to be Steppenwolf boom tuning at the end of Justice League as a failure, appearing in front of Darkseid killing him for being a failure, and coming out the other side of the boom tube in front of the Justice League or something like that. So that was supposed to already be in the movies, but everything got switched up.
Now, who would you cast as Mr. Miracle?
Robert Pattinson.
Mr. Miracle.
That's a tough one. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I really can't say who I would cast as that guy.
See, I don't know young actors the way you guys do.
Denzel Washington. And watch the internet completely lose their shit.
Idris Elba.
I'm actually surprised he hasn't. Oh no, he was in the MCU. I keep forgetting. Yeah, they never did anything with him though.
No, apparently, I guess he didn't like doing those types of movies. They were beneath him, I guess.
So he jumps into the Fast and Furious movies,
or Star Trek, where you can't even tell it's him.
Oh shit! You know, I never saw the last Star Trek, but yeah, he was in that. I forgot.
I got some Tom King news too. Him and Mitch Gerrits are going to be at Torpedo August 31st.
Cool.
Nice.
They're going to be doing signings?
Yeah, they'll be doing a signing at the store.
Ooh. So if anybody's got any questions in the chat, we will go ahead and answer them while we're here.
Wasn't there like another news thing that came up recently? What was I going to say? Shit.
We covered R-Pats as Batman. We covered.
We have to talk about that. That is.
Yeah.
We covered that first.
Announced as being a real thing.
Yeah, no, it's 100% real now. We talked about that. I said I was cool with it. Jess said he was cool with it. I'm looking forward to it.
I have no problem with it. I mean, I give it up to Robert Pattinson. That guy has gotten nothing but shitted on for probably his entire career because of Twilight. Like, who cares? But he's the kind of guy who could have just lived off of Twilight money for the rest of his life and just, I don't know, collected Winnie the Pooh stuffed animals for the rest of his life and just lived in a shack and just lived off that money and never had to work again after those films.
He could have done the
He continued to move on and did really good acting and great films. Like, what was it? Water for Elephants or something like that was a great movie.
Yeah, he was good in that.
There's a few other ones that have been kind of just like low key method acting type films that I heard has been really great from him as well. So he's been shit on for his entire life or entire career because of Twilight. And I don't think anybody can get cast as Batman and have the world or the internet go, yeah, okay, I'm okay with that. Everybody's gonna get crapped on when you get cast as a superhero. It's always gonna happen. It happened with all the way back from Michael Keaton.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, Jared Leto. Well, they were kind of right about that.
They were very right about that.
Heath Ledger is what I meant. Heath Ledger, he got crapped on for being the Joker until it came out. So I kind of become desensitized to knee-jerk reactions to casting, and I put my trust in these movie makers to try and do the best films that they can with these actors, and I rather give them credit or give them shit based on the final product. Like the Justice League, I think Ben Affleck was great, but these Justice League movies were not that great.
Yeah, he was arguably the best thing about those movies.
Yeah, he was a great Batman. Great Batman. I don't like the idea of him killing people and stuff like that, but that's they didn't ask me to write the movie, but I think his portrayal of Batman and his look and his gravitas he brought to that character is really well done. Nobody will be happy with a Batman casting until they cast John Hamm.
Well, I'm good with that, actually. I've always wanted to see him as an older Superman, though. Me personally. I would lose my collective monkey mind if in a few months they come out and say, yeah, we're not doing Batman, we're doing Batman Beyond, and Michael Keaton is Bruce Wayne, and Robert Pattinson is Terry McGinnis.
I would rather have a younger actor play Terry McGinnis, though.
But yeah, well, yeah, you're right on that. But that would just, everybody would flip their shit. I think a lot of people would probably be like, oh, wow.
But I think that's a perfect casting for old man Batman, would be Michael Keaton. And for Batman Beyond, just because I've been watching a lot of Riverdale lately, because Riverdale season 3 is on Netflix now, so I've been powering through that. I would like to see like somebody like the kid that plays Jughead be Terry McGinnis. I think you need somebody in that age range to be Terry McGinnis, because Terry McGinnis was still in high school during all that.
Yeah, he's a young guy. I mean, they've been talking about the possibility of a Batman Beyond movie for years. I mean, there's been rumors floating around for years of it, but
I would love that. I think they could do it. There's a lot of nostalgia, and there's a lot of. I mean, Batman Beyond still has a comic, that does okay, but that series is still top notch. I put it right up there, like neck to neck. A1, I'm sorry, A1, B1 for animated movies next to Batman the Animated Series or animated TV shows.
Oh, the Joker movie?
No, just Batman Beyond in general.
Okay.
I mean, if you can get Miles Morales, who is super popular now and is kind of a unknown character up until the Spider-Verse movie, you can do the same kind of treatment with a replacement Batman. Because Terry McGinnis is, I think, as far as I can think back, and maybe someone can correct me, but Terry McGinnis has been the only widely accepted replacement of Bruce Wayne for Batman. No other character that they've replaced Batman with has it been widely accepted. I mean, you had John Paul Valley during Nightfall. You had maybe Dick Grayson during Black Mirror, but still during that time, there was a lot of I'm not reading Batman until Bruce Wayne comes back. But it seems to be that Terry McGinnis is considered the next Batman, no matter what. Maybe because he earned it. Maybe because he had a similar story. Maybe, spoilers, he might be related to Batman if you saw the Justice League animated shows. But that's what I think we can bring to the table with Terry McGinnis, is that he is accepted as the next step in line for Batman.
Not even Damian as future Batman and Batman Beyond was accepted easily.
Yeah, no one. Yeah, Terry McGinnis has been the only one that's been accepted as that character. I don't know how they did it or what it is about that character. I'd love to pick Paul Dini's brain if I ever run into that guy one day and ask him, like, why is it that Terry McGinnis is accepted as the next Batman when everybody else hates anybody who puts on the Batman mantle? Even Gordon during the New 52 run, people hated that. And that was a story arc, and that lasted for a long time where, again, people were like, I'm not reading Batman until Bruce Wayne comes back.
You ask people from like our generation where we grew up watching like the Batman animated series and the Batman Beyond animated series, and there's still very much a fervor and a love for that series. Like the fans that saw it, the Justice League, the Batman animated series, the Batman Beyond series, there is a die-hard love for that. For that.
Oh, God, I'm gonna go back and watch Batman Beyond now.
Gabe, Jess, you've never seen Batman Beyond, right?
Not Batman Beyond, no. I saw the animated series, but I didn't see Batman Beyond.
That Return of the Joker movie was awesome.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I have both versions because the first DVD that they put out was the edited version.
Yeah.
And then a couple years later, they came back and put out the unedited version with like the real way, all the torture and all the death and all the blood and all that stuff still in it. Oh, man, he fucked over Tim Drake so much in that. Man, that poor guy.
But it was a good story, and it worked. Yeah. Because as a mystery, you're going, how the fuck is he back? Like, how the fuck is the Joker back? And he's back in his prime. And this is set, what is it, like 50 years in the future or something like that? And he's and you're wondering the whole time. And then when they explain it, you go, you know what? Okay, that works. That works.
I'll buy it. Yeah, I'm in. Somebody said Richard Nelson as Big Barda and Flavor Flav as Mr. Miracle. That's me.
Big old clock around Mr. Miracle's neck.
Oh man, are you guys caught up yet on Venom or Hulk?
Nope. I'm waiting for the hardcovers.
Neither, huh? None of you?
I'm not caught up. I've read a handful of issues of each title, and they're really, really good.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for this Absolute Carnage storyline that Donny and Stegman are doing.
Yeah.
Quick announcement about that. Ryan Stegman will be in the store doing a signing in September, I believe. But yeah, these guys those two books are fucking wrecking trains. I haven't seen modern books take off and continue the course of taking off, and steadily I have to continue to raise my orders on every issue of Immortal Hulk and Venom. I can't keep them on the shelves.
Wow.
It's so good.
Well, I read the first trade of Immortal Hulk, so I know how good it is.
It gets better.
Oh yeah, they top themselves with the second trade for sure.
Yeah. I'm genuine. Every time I pick up an issue or every time I read a new issue, because I caught up all the way up to issue 18, I think is the newest one, which came out I think last week, of Immortal Hulk, and every time I read it, it gets better and better. And I don't know how Al Ewing is doing it, but he is crushing it on that series. And the same thing goes with Venom. Donny Cates is crafting a whole new Venom mythos, and it is working for me. I love the new Carnage. I love how they bring him back and everything like that. Because last time that we saw Carnage, that dude was in space. Like, he was launched into orbit. And how he brings him back and the explanation of why he's back, I love it. And I am not an event guy. In fact, I hate most events. I am all in on this Maximum Carnage event when it comes back.
Yeah, it's crazy because when Brian Michael Bendis took over New Avengers, was it? Like, one of the first things he did was have the Sentry just murder Carnage in space. Like, he just took him off the playing board because that's how much Carnage was kind of like, it's hard to write for that character, and he's not at the time one of the most beloved villains or anything like that. He was kind of a joke. I've loved him from the beginning because of Maximum Carnage and the video games and stuff like that. But then they brought him back, and he had titanium space legs and all this kind of crazy stuff. Donny Cates is bringing him back to the forefront. Same with Venom. Venom's always kind of been just, people liked him for the nostalgia of Todd McFarlane, or the nostalgia of Lethal Protector and things like that. But he's reinvented a lot of the Venom mythos with this whole symbiote god stuff. And he took a lot of shit for it. And now he is laughing all the way to the bank. He's laughing all the way through owning Marvel Comics. Donny Cates I'm talking about. Laughing in everybody's face because now he is their top writer. This Absolute Carnage is Marvel's next huge crossover event with a lot of crossover miniseries and things like that. That all just spun out of this little Venom book that nobody cared about. So, and same with Immortal Hulk. Hulk, to me, and largely, maybe somebody can tell me another time that they really like the Hulk, but I haven't really liked the Hulk since Bruce Jones. And what was it called back then? What was the name of that book, that storyline? The Monster Hulk, and it was like Mr. Green and Mr. Blue talking to each other on the computer.
Yeah.
I mean, even like Planet Hulk and Rover Hulk, I mean, as cool as those stories were, it was just a quick time frame, like a flash in the pan comparatively to the overall Hulk storylines. But finally, the Hulk is back to being a forefront character and being like one of Marvel's top titles right now. And right now, like, those books are really, really popular. Some of those Immortal Hulk books are like circling around the $75 to $100 mark in the back issues. So it's really, if you want to read that storyline and get involved in how good this is, you're going to want to pick up the trades or wait for the hardcover. Same with Venom. I don't think Venom's that expensive, but if you don't want to spend, over $20 per issue, you might want to just wait for the hardcover to come out, which I think is coming out towards the end of the summer. I think the hardcover for these books are coming out. So
or my route digital, you get a lot of the back issues for like $1.99.
Yeah. If you want to do digital stuff, yeah, definitely that's a good way to do it. Carl N in the chat said he still wish Maximum Carnage would get a hardcover. I do too. I totally agree. But that is why I'm going to be picking up the Spider-Man versus Venom Omnibus pretty soon.
Are we going to read the new Silver Surfer Cates is going to write? I'm going to guess that book is going to fly off the shelves.
It's already sold out through Diamond.
Is it?
Yeah, and I think I might have underordered. I'm positive I underordered it. So I'm going to have to do some creative stocking and creative sales to get that book to keep it on the shelf. It's gone. It's already. I mean, it comes out
a few weeks.
The 14th, I want to say, of this month. So yeah, like in a couple of weeks, maybe it's the 12th. Whatever
it's the
that
12th. The 12th is a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's not going to last on the shelf at all. At my store, I'm going to have to. I can't order anymore. I'm going to have to try and figure out some ways. I might have to call other stores and say, "Hey, do you guys have any extra Venoms I can buy off you guys for cost or something?" That's going to be a hot book. I should have known better. I should have ordered a lot more of it.
What is your opinion about the Silver Surfer Omnibus? Are we going to see a reprint?
The which Silver Surfer Omnibus? The All Red and Slot one. It's awesome. It was my book of the year last year, and I bet we'll see a reprint of it since it sold out so quickly. But it's fantastic. I loved it. It brought me to tears. I loved it so much, and I cried real man tears over it.
I agree with everything Jess said. And then if you're referring to the Stan Lee, John Buscema stuff, same thing. It's actually, honestly, the first issue of Silver Surfer is the greatest origin story of any comic book character. The rest of the stories are kind of, it's a little bit hard to read it because it's literally Silver Surfer grounded on Earth, getting beat up by random people in the streets. I hope they do a reprint of it. It's one of the. I don't have the DM cover of it, and I wish I did. I hope there's a reprint just so I can get the DM cover.
You said that, and I just pictured the Yancey Street Gang going, "Get him!"
It's literally like people, Silver Surfer letting him get beat up by people on the street because he doesn't want to hurt them. It's crazy. But then you get cool stuff in there too. Like you fight Thor, and then you get the Mephisto stuff and things like that. But it's in the era where Silver Surfer is banished to Earth, and it's him traveling around Earth, pontificating on the beauty of our planet and how we are polluting it and destroying this lovely environment, and how lucky we are to have such lavish landscapes and stuff like that. So,
the Stan Lee Omnibus.
Yeah.
I think that he's asking about the Stan Lee Omnibus. I think that it will get reprinted eventually. I think due to our inside source now with Marvel that all those books are going to get reprinted eventually.
I think every omnibus is eventually going to get reprinted. It happens, but we can't guess on a timeline.
Except for Thor #1 because it's unreadable.
I'm actually I've been talking about cultivating my collection a little bit. I think that Thor omnibus might be on the chopping block.
Go ahead. It is not readable.
Same with the Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. Those might be on the chopping block.
Oh, no, those are two of my faves. Those aren't leaving my collection.
And Incredible Hulk Volume 1. So I got some things on the chopping block, I think.
Yeah.
I need to make space.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been multi-cultivating.
Yeah, I'm going to make space. I just want to have, my favorite, my must-haves on the shelf more than anything else.
Yeah, it's got to be something I'm going to reread or it's gone.
This is one of those things that, you get kind of caught up with it, and there's a lot of fluff that goes on. But there's room. There's room to make cuts to add better stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want that Blackest Night omnibus. I have to have that Heroes Return omnibus. So I need to make some moves and make some space.
Absolute Black Mirror.
I want that so bad.
Yeah, is that out?
I just haven't gotten around to it. I mean, I have a bunch of them at the store. I'll get one eventually, but
it's out already, right?
Yeah, it came out last week.
Ooh, you know, I don't know much anymore, but I gotta have that.
I got a stack of omnibuses on hold for me at the store that I gotta pick through before I start adding to the pile, if you know what I mean.
I know this is all about marketing, but they're killing me with out of print statues.
Statuses.
Oh, statuses. My illiteracy kicking. Hey, Jess, somebody's showing you some love.
Oh, thank you, Israel. I appreciate that.
What was your most recent video?
I did, as far as comics go, I did a bunch of how to get started collecting your collected editions for DC and Marvel.
Good topic.
2-part videos on how to get started. And yeah, they actually were 2 of my higher viewed videos the fastest. People seem to really like them.
That's a good topic.
ETL says that he's reading Annihilation right now, and he's saying it's pretty overrated.
In my opinion, he's not wrong.
I agree. It's the same with almost every big crossover. The kind of ancillary satellite tie-ins are always kind of whatever. Like all the Annihilation, like Silver Surfer, Annihilation Drax, Annihilation Super Skrull. All those stories are you can kind of skip them. But the actual main Annihilation story, like that 6-issue story arc, is pretty good. But the ancillary stuff is not so good.
Yeah,
same
I found
with any book that has a huge crossover event.
It was the same deal with Infinity. Like all the new Avengers and Infinity stuff, that was good. Mm-hmm. But Jesus, if you try to read everything in Infinity, you're going to be reading a lot of just one and done tie-ins that aren't really that great.
Same with like Road War Hulk, like all those like ancillary titles. I'm trying to think of the name, but the one that Paul Jenkins wrote, where it's kind of like this on the street perspective of the event. Things like that are always just kind of like, I don't care, whatever.
Do you remember all the tie-ins, the Civil War?
Yeah, exactly, same thing.
Oh, who cares? God.
Like I don't care about, you know, even as much as I love the Fantastic Four and stuff, I don't care about Ben Grimm going off, you know, fucking off to France and stuff like that. You know, I just rather just stick to the actual story. I mean, like the Amazing Spider-Man stuff was good because that actually tied in to the actual narrative of Civil War with him revealing his identity and things like that. Yeah. But then, of course, I got retconned like 5 seconds after it happened.
Well, the Wolverine tie-in wasn't too bad either.
That was good because that ties into, that's one thread that I wanted to follow. Is like I want to see where this goes with Nitro. What happened to the guy that blew up the school?
Yeah. Man, do you guys remember Civil War? How big of an event that was when it was first coming out? How crazy. It was all over the newsstands and everything. It was all over the comic book stores. I couldn't walk into a shop without just seeing ads for Civil War everywhere and tie-in issues everywhere. It was crazy. I don't think we've had an event that big since then.
Yeah, and that was also, I mean, we talked about it before. I think we even appeared on the chat, the topic of, oh, this book is so late, but if you can get over the really late schedule of release time, it's actually a pretty good book. That happens a lot. That happened a lot. That happened with Civil War for sure. I think issue 7 took like, I could look it up. I think it took like 6 months to come out. Mm-hmm. And nobody ever recognizes or remembers or keeps the schedule conflict in their mind as they reread the story 10 years later, or somebody who's never read it, or somebody who's read it for the first time, never reads it and go, I bet this came out really late. You know, that's never there. I mean, Dark Knight Returns came out really late too, and that's one of the greatest books ever written. So
I think as an event though, Civil War, I still enjoy it. I still go back and read it every few years. And I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of enjoy this still.
Well, we did a review of Civil War not too long ago, I think, right? Like,
right. Within the past year, I think.
Yeah.
Almir, I'm going to continue my How to Get Started videos probably next weekend with like Independence and Dark Horse like that. Although I was going to include Criminal in there, but I think it's out of print again. Damn it!
Is it?
I think Criminal #1 is out of print.
Ooh.
The hardcover, right?
The hardcover, yeah. But that doesn't mean they can't collect the paperbacks, which are still in print. So I will include it. Only I will have to risk showing the out of print hardcover and get all kinds of abuse on my comments page like I did for showing Yosaki.
You're just showing off all of your big whales. This has nothing to do with what you're talking about.
Which, if you're out there and you have not read Brubaker's Criminal series, you got to read that. Like, too sweet. Criminal's fantastic.
Yeah, that'll be one of the first things I recommend. Actually, I may just do a whole Brubaker video and say, this is... Actually, that's a good idea. I'll just do a Brubaker video and say, this is how you start your collected edition.
Just go through his entire catalog. It's all good.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever read a bad Brubaker book.
I certainly haven't. In fact,
the tail end of his Captain America isn't the best. Like the trial of Captain America and whatever the last two like omnibus stuff is was kind of whatever.
I never got to that part. I petered off. I petered off after Steve came back. I was like, I really like Bucky as Cap.
Yeah, so yeah, it does look like Criminal 1 is out of stock through Diamond. So,
okay,
that's the reprint too.
Yeah, and I know Fatale #1 hardcover is out of print now too.
God, the Fatale is my favorite of his books. Cosmic
I think Incognito is still around. I just got a bunch of Incognito in at the store.
Cosmic Horror is my jam, so Fatale was just perfect for me.
I have Fatale. I don't think I've ever opened it though. No, I don't have Fatale. I have Fade Out.
Fade Out is awesome. I think that might be my favorite.
Fade Out's really good. We talked about the ending of Fade Out. What did we think? Was he who he was? Remember we mentioned
right? Yeah, we talked a lot about that. Yeah, I could just do a Brubaker thing.
We should just do that on the show in general. We've been talking about that for the longest time and just never got off of our balls to do it.
Let's do a Brubaker episode.
A Brubaker episode?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That's a good idea. I can't believe we haven't done that yet.
We talked about it we've been talking about doing like creator-centric spotlight episodes, and we've had a list of creators we want to do it with. Grant Morrison, Brubaker, Alan Moore, Jeff Lemire. Like we've had the discussion 100 times before, but we just never gotten off of our balls to do it.
I mean, if we're gonna do Brubaker, I think we're gonna probably need it a few weeks in advance. That way, some of us can freshen up on some of this stuff.
Fine. Let's set a date. Let's do it a couple Sundays from now.
I'm gonna reread Fatale.
That's a good idea. I should reread Fatale, and I just read Incognito. I need to reread Scene of the Crime. I just read Velvet again. Yeah. I just read "Oh, My Heroes Have Always Been Junkies," so I can talk about that.
They're doing another of those little novella hardcovers.
Yeah, Bad Day or something.
Bad Weekend, Worst Weekend.
Bad Weekend, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Fatale is completely out of stock. That's long gone. But it's been 5 years since it came out.
Wade and Jeff. Yeah, that'd be good. Although the Wade episode would be just Jess talking for 30 minutes about Irredeemable.
I could talk about other Wade stuff.
Here's my manifesto on why you should read it.
How dare you? I'm not just a one-note man.
His college thesis paper. I have graphs.
Laser pointer.
Austin in the chat, Jess, says that you need to make a video on how to start your Hawaiian shirt collection.
Yeah,
I mean, if we do Brubaker, we could easily spin that out into like a a Greg Rucka show as well.
Ooh.
Because we're going to end up having to talk about Gotham Central.
Gotham Central. Somebody literally just brought that up when you just said it.
Oh yeah.
Because this is the second time we got asked in the chat. I don't think we really, we talked on it, but I don't think we discussed it thoroughly. Did anybody get Absolute Black Mirror? Did you guys?
I did. Yeah, I just got it.
I have it at the store. Spudnik is asking if anybody else got it, what our thoughts are, and if it's worth picking up. I think I haven't opened it yet. I haven't tried it but I haven't flipped through it or anything like that. But that is one of the best Batman stories of the modern era, and that's what's really shot Scott Snyder into the stratosphere as a superstar writer. The art of Jock combined with the art of Francisco Francavilla in the oversized Absolute hardcover is worth it alone.
Yeah,
it's a great story as well. So I haven't looked at it. I haven't flipped through it yet. More than me just merchandising it on the shelf. But I think it's 100% worth picking up.
I absolutely 100% agree with everything Gabe just said.
With an ending that will leave your jaw on the floor. Because that ending, I was like, oh my god.
I mean, there's so much good stuff in there. I mean, you get into it kind of starts off. It's a couple issues in, but you get that that secret underbelly criminal world auction where they're auctioning off weapons and other chemicals used by some of the worst criminal minds of Gotham, and there's being auctioned off at mass, and that's kind of what starts off because somehow the Killer Croc serum or whatever it is, Killer Croc virus, whatever you want to call it, kind of gets out of control. But you get that crowbar thing in there. So you start out with that, and that's the Jock storyline. But then I don't want to call it the B story because I don't want to give it any downplay whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But the other story, that's the Francisco Francavilla drawn story, which is about Gordon Jr., about Commissioner Gordon's son. Yeah. And the shit that they go through with that story and with Barbara Gordon and all that stuff in it. Oh, I don't know how that just doesn't tear people in half trying to be able to take in two great stories at once. That's switching back and forth. It is amazing.
Yeah, it's totally worth the upgrade. Spud CT, in my opinion, I upgraded. I gave the hardcover to Omar, and in anticipation of getting this Absolute.
I have the hardcover. I would get rid of it, but Jock Snyder signed it for me. And Jock did a sketch inside of it for me too.
Well, you have to keep that.
Yeah, so there's no way I can get rid of that. But I had no problem double dipping / upgrading to the Absolute.
Yeah, the art is absolutely the reason you want to upgrade.
Here's an interesting question. Someone says you guys should do an omnibus draft by the collector. I'm not sure what he means by that. Sounds interesting. Give us a little bit more details. That sounds like that could be something kind of fun, like a fun game, like fake manga, real manga, or something.
We're due for an episode of that.
That's funny because I just watched the tail end of that episode because somebody made a comment on it, so it popped up popped it back up because there's something about me, and it's me saying something stupid at the very end of it, but it made me kind of watch the last minute or so of that. And I go, I remember that fake manga, real manga episode was fun. Oh, that's right, because at the very end I said something like 9/11 was an inside job. And Jess and Omar are like, you dumb bastard. Why do you say that?
Oh, man. Jess, we talked about a lot of books today, but where can they get those books that we talked about today?
Thank you, Luis. They can get them at InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add an extra 2% to that. The month is June now, and I believe in this month we will get an Omniboslive discount code. Over $50 in an order in the United States gets you free shipping, fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Well, you're not outside. Why the hell would you want to go outside when you could just cuddle up inside and read a book? It's way too
InStockTrades.com, where you can get absolute Batman the Black Mirror for 42% off right now. That's $57.99. So that is automatically free shipping in the US.
That's a hell of a deal.
Don't worry, Mutant Menace. They'll get it. It hasn't sold out from Diamond yet. They'll get Mr. Miracle hardcover. I know it got snapped up quickly, but you'll get it.
Is it not sold out?
Oh, I don't know. Better check.
Don't give me
They said they're expecting more supply from Diamond, so.
Okay, good.
Just giving this man hope.
Gabe slapping it down.
That's funny because I had a few left in the store because we forgot to put it out on the shelf.
Well, here's a good question. Serious question, guys. How do I protect myself from getting scammed when doing trade in the Facebook group? I'm afraid to send out my out-of-print book and not getting the other book. This has happened before, where you can, first of all, you can look at the list of confirmed sellers on the book. Jesus. You can look at the list of confirmed best people that sell on the group. There is a list that Patrick Baranski keeps of confirmed good sellers. Make sure your seller's on that list. If there's not, contact one of the admins and say, is this person a good seller? And if you can't get that, find a third party that you trust and have both books sent to the third party and give him money, and he'll have both parties give that guy money, and he'll ship them off separately.
Kind of like an escrow kind of thing.
Exactly.
That's a good tip. Outside of that, besides trades, because it's really hard to kind of do a trade because on both sides of the table, you think you're going to get ripped off.
Yeah.
But if you're paying somebody for a book, always pay PayPal goods and services.
Right.
Always. Unless you're like super homies and stuff like that.
I understand the concern there.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get a sexy girl pic to get into the Facebook group.
No, you just have to make sure you have a real Facebook profile and have some kind of, you just have to have a real Facebook profile. You can't have like nothing on your Facebook profile and not answer any of the questions.
We've had a few people try to get in that it's obvious they're fake accounts.
Yeah.
The one way that you will guarantee to get in is if you put a picture of Luis in drag as your profile picture.
That'll work, and there is photos out there.
I don't know the answer to that Court of Owls question because I don't have the Court of Owls Absolute.
I'm kind of glad I didn't pull the trigger on that Court of Owls Absolute. There's many times that I was about to, but now we're getting that New 52 Omnibus.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that New 52 run, or at least all the way up to like year one in Absolute, because I love the Absolute format as opposed to the Omnibus. But I just want it all. I want it all. That's the only thing that's my pet peeve is when storylines get released in different formats.
Right. You want it all in the same format.
Yeah, and DC was really terrible about that.
Yeah. I mean, they could do the whole Snyder run in Absolute. I mean,
they could, but now they did Court of Owls, and now it's the Omnibus.
Right.
You know,
and it has weird distinctive arcs. You've got this arc, this arc, this arc, this arc. If they wanted to collect the whole thing in Absolute, they could totally do that. I think they're probably just waiting for him to finish up Last Night, which I still have to read that fucking issue.
Great.
I haven't read it yet.
It's great, and it's sold out through Diamond.
Do I have to read Metal in order to read this?
No.
Because I can read Metal. Okay.
I don't think so. But Mr. Miracle is sold out through Diamond right now, so I'm guessing IST must have gotten the order in before they sold out or something. But as of right now, it's gone through Diamond.
Oh, wow.
Which is good, because I hope that means stores or publishers do more comic book store exclusive hardcover stuff like that, to bring more people into the comic book store and not to Barnes and Noble and not to Amazon and stuff like that. So I hope that becomes a trend, since it seems to be pretty damn successful with Mr. Miracle.
Okay, well, I am starving and sleepy, and I feel like we've answered everybody's questions. I'm sure you guys have lives you want to get on with. So, is the McFarlane Spider-Man sold out now?
That's been sold out, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been sold out, I think, for a while. Yeah, that's why we gave it away 6 months ago in the 2,000 subscriber episode.
Is he talking about the McFarlane solo Spider-Man series or the McFarlane Michelini omnibus? Because that one recently sold out with that liquidation sale. So I'm not sure if he's referring to that. But he also, that's the guy that the collector who says do a mock draft like the NFL or NBA draft, where you pick what you think is the best omnibus still available or ever.
Mm.
Oh, so kind of like a bracket situation, I guess. Huh? All right, so I think that's it.
Gabe, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me, Gabe Infinity Watch, on Instagram and on the Omnibus Collectors Facebook group. What's up, Ryley? He just popped in the chat. No, wait. No, that was Louise saying Ryley.
Ryley's the youngest member of the Omni group.
He is? Okay, interesting.
Louise, where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me at Comics God 101 on Facebook and Twitter.
And you can find me, Omnidog, on YouTube, Omnidog's Vault, and on Instagram, Omnidogs_Vault. And with that, we say thank you to the chat. The chat's been great today. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. And we always enjoy doing the Sunday show, and we enjoyed it today. Thank you to the chat for making it so enjoyable, and to the people watching. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Review us on iTunes.
Cyclops was right.